between 441 and 443, and Desiree was predicting the 454. And I
Yeah.
was saying if we had taken a contract going along like 2 weeks, see, we would have gotten that 10 plus dollar move.
Yeah, but it would have had to been a long, far out contract.
No, but it was just 2 weeks because it was just last week. I mean, SPY hit 454.
Yeah, the only thing is we never know like how long it's gonna take. And even though it did hit 2 weeks, you know what I mean? Like, or how long
barely even
was
2
that
weeks.
yeah, it was barely 2 weeks, but it's because the strength in SPY, but we never know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, how long it'll take.
Right. I probably would not have done it because I was, I normally don't go out more than a month. And I was thinking like remember now, this market came all the way from 400 and, as a run, 410, sorry, and it just kept running. I was like waiting on a pub. I was like waiting on a pub. So in my mind, I'm like, this market has to pull back at some point.
Yes.
So it's going against all reasons for me.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've never seen that like that. It just doesn't make sense. Everything. Did you see Microsoft? I mean,
if I saw Microsoft,
like, look at this, guys. Like, look here. Okay, so the daily, I was looking at the RSI this morning on everything too. Like, look, the daily is at 90. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour is 95.15. You got 1 hour right now, it's at 95.5. Like, we're so overbought across the board right now. 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. And that's what I'm really looking at, mainly like our higher time frames. And then if you go into weekly, we're coming into overbought on weekly. We're at like 86, but your daily is really your 4 hour, your hour is kind of all like overbought. That's what I'm saying. We're getting to the tippy top, guys. We're gonna get into the tippy top. And like yesterday, like I said, yesterday's run was great and you had all these breakouts and stuff like that. But it feels like it's a psychological move where you're psyching everybody out right now with all these breakouts and we're going, and then all of a sudden people are going to be chasing these trades and or chasing these trends,
and then they'll come
down. We're gonna have. That's why, like, for me, I don't trust it. I'm like, all right, I'm just watching you guys go. I don't trust you right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like waiting on the put, but now it's like 454 now. Like, people are like, do I take a put here? Do I wait till 460? And then what happens is,
I think right now we just gotta wait for confirmation on these puts, because even though we're at 454 target, you see there's no confirmation or reversal right now. So now I just put my new target up here, which is the 460. You can see it's like up around in this area. So are we going to trend in between these trends, or are we going to like fall through it? So it's kind of at this point, we gotta wait for direction. That's it. Like, you gotta wait for confirmation. And that's the thing about, like, when you get into these positions, like right now, even though my target, was 454, but this is the area I'm speculating the turn. But I still need to wait. You know what I mean? Like, to see. You see, when I say wait, like, you see the doji right here, and you can even see that when this closed, this is the weekly, you could see a lot of buying pressure. I would have been able to see the buying pressure just on this doji here. Hold on, let me see. Just on this doji, because you see how it's bigger here. It just means that we opened up here. The buyers, the buyers came in and pushed it up, and then the seller said no. I mean, selling pressure is what I meant. Seller said nope, and we closed down here. But you can see where the sellers are more in control here, and you can see it's at a significant area where this doji takes place. Then the next week we open up lower, and then we're down. Like yesterday, we opened up a little lower, but you see we took off. So it doesn't always mean that that's the case. We're just looking at the probability. You know what I mean? Like, what is more probable? Because we opened up here and we kind of opened it up on the support, but you could see we closed. Where we closed at, and then the next week was definitely confirmation. Like, oh shit, we just opened up below this last support level, and look what happened. We closed below it, right? Next week we came. I mean, we had a little fake out, but we didn't get anywhere near over here. It was the tip was over here, nowhere near here. Then of course, so you get small indications of a reversal before it even happens, even here. So you have all of this here, right? And then you got this weekly candle that was created, and you see selling pressure again. And it's like, oh shit, then next week they open up lower. You know what I mean? So you get confirmation a little bit right here, right? And then you open up lower below this level here. You can't break it. You tried to break it here. You get this big candle. Then you freaking go under the 200 MA. So you're seeing the pullback every single week. You're looking at these candles and how they're opening and closing, and you know they're opening up lower. So that's what I mean. I need a confirmation here. Something here that shows me like we want to reverse right now. And we've been kind of going, like, if you see here, we had a little uptrend, pullback, uptrend, pullback, up, but here it's kind of been.
Yeah, we just keep going.
But we knew it because remember, guys, in June, we broke. And that's what I said. When you break on the higher time frames, when you break and you go, like, this is what we were waiting for. This whole year, we were waiting for this move. This whole year. I swear to God, when we were doing the pre-market show and we kept projecting these levels, and I'm like, fuck, when is this gonna happen? I was waiting for this breakout here. And it's happening now. So, during breakouts, it's very strong. And that's what we're experiencing. The bulls in charge right now. They are in charge and they're going. But again, we're in a breakout in these higher time frames. Now it's just a matter of like, how long is this breakout going to be? You know what I mean? And a lot of us are not trying to get in up here because this breakout's been happening. These bulls has been going for some time. So trying to chase it up here is like trying to chase it at the supply zone or at the resistance level. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of to a point where you just gotta like wait and watch. All right, so these are the next levels here. So 454, so in between 454, we're gonna say about for our daily levels, about right there. This was where we took off at. Okay, let's take this off right now. Okay. So this is where we're at right here, 4 hour. Again, we're overbought, but you can see we're above yesterday's close. Let me see, hold on, make sure. Oh, yesterday's close was at 4. Let me make sure I got these levels. Let's do 450 as support because that's where we kind of took off at. You see here, we had 1, 2, 3, barely 3 days of trying to break through it, and then we busted through it. So that's where I'm gonna go.
So we closed at 454.18 yesterday.
Yeah, I think this is good. See here, this closing here. Okay, here, and then we have this little bit. So I think these are good levels here. So your next levels, we did say right here, 454, 455-ish. We're heading up there though, guys. Look at this shit. We're heading, but it's really, really overbought. Really overbought. Like we're coming to the tips here. So this is the next resistance. So we got the high of 454.86. So, I just marked it here, 455.4. I had to use the weekly because we don't really have any, any data for real on the lower time frames to even see. But here we're at 93.94. Shoot, the last time this was 93.0. And then we got here to 91. We stayed above. We're 93.5. So we're pretty high. We're high here. We're high here. Okay. 1 hour. Yeah, even if we come up to this level here, we're very high. I don't know how long we can keep sustaining this.
Yes, how far can you go back on the hourly that makes sense? Because I tried to go back last night and I went all the way back and I got 457. After 454, I got 457, but I went back far, like on the
454, 54, 55, 56, 57. Yeah, maybe let's go. I mean, you could really go. Oh, you mean on the hourly? Here, share your screen because you have to change
I
the
don't-
settings.
yeah, I can't share my screen now. I'm not think
Oh,
I'm
you can't?
yeah, but I went back on trading view. Because you can't, it's hard to go back on the hourly on Thinkorswim.
Yeah, let me see. I can go back. It's just that let me customize my my thing. You have to, because right now I have it set on only for 20 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so you must have went, let's go. I mean, I'll go 360 days. See what that one looks like. Apply. I don't know, because even if oh shoot, I don't have my thing shared. Hold on. All right. I'm at 360 days, so how far did you go back? I don't like this view.
Yeah. I had to change I had to do this trading view to go back that far. I couldn't go back and Thinkorswim.
Yeah, it's just, and even like going back to it. So hold on, let me fix this here. Let's customize it back. Yeah, because with that view, you can barely see anything. 20, let's go back to 20 days. All right. I mean, maybe I can go to trading view and see.
So trading view, you have to go all the way back to like April.
And only thing, and yours is probably more accurate because I don't have very much data here. I just pretty much calculated it.
Yeah, you have to go back to
what the average ATR is right now. Yeah.
February 22.
So we got, did you have this sitting as support, the previous breakout of that like 351-ish right here, down here?
Where's that?
You had you had this for the support, the 351, what we just previously broke out of?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So let's look here. And then we have 454. So we had 454 and then you had 457.
457, 50, around 50.
Yeah, you're probably better, right? Because 454, 55, 56, that's about $3. So let's take it down to 57. And then we can take this one down to about right here, 454. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, this makes more sense because there. This would be prior. So that 460, I pulled it up on the monthly, but we're at the current here. And really, to be honest, I don't have very much to look off of, which I normally would have, but there's nothing here that's telling me. So if you were able to go back, that this makes sense here. Okay, so this is 451.24, which is new support. This is the high. We knew that this 454 was a big resistance on the monthly prior. So here is now where we're kind of sitting at, and then 457. Now I'm just kind of calculating it based on the previous gaps, right here to right here to right here. Okay, so this is 454.6, 457.7. 451.1. Okay, so we got the next resistance at 457.8. Okay, so here, this is kind of like, where are we going? So again, I know that we opened up below yesterday. I think we opened up around, yeah, we had to open up around here because we did open up below yesterday, but we shot up. So it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's going to go in the down direction. If it does open up below, that's just signs that it could, because we're thinking probability. But overall, we already know SPY is really strong. We know they're breaking out on the monthly. We know that the bulls are in control. We already understand all of that. But at this point, guys, we are at the top. We are at the top on these higher time frames. So it's just the point. It's like, think about it when we are like in these lower time frames. It's like being up here. It's like being up here on the higher time frames, right? When you have your support, you're like in your midline, and then you have your resistance level. It's like we're here. So we know at some point there is going to be a rejection. It's just a matter of when. When are the bears going to step in? So right now we're just kind of like doing a lot of observing. This is not a time to go long on anything right now. This is a time to just wait and be patient and allow the market to do what it's going to do, and let the people, because really it's all about, it's just people. If you look at these candles, all it is people. It's just buyers and sellers. That's all it is. It's buyers and sellers. So if you just watch the people and see what it is that they're going to do, once they make all of their moves and you really see action happen, that's when you can clearly make a decision. Because really at this time, like I said, only thing you can do is trade in between zones. Trade in between zones. So we knew once this candle took it here, especially once it closed on the hourly, it was going up. See, the hourly candle, once it closed above here and then opened up above this level, that was signs that it wanted to keep going up. Okay. And then we hit this high of 454. This is a doji right here. And it's a doji at this point, it's resistance, but you know, we're so strong. I don't know if we're trying to turn or if we want to keep going or what. The only thing I can tell you is we're pretty strong and we look bullish in terms of like price action. But when I get to these indicators, I'm looking at exhaustion, and I know we're at the top on the higher time frames. We're at the top here. See this little thing here? Look at all this movement here. This was all this was all support. This was all resistance. All of this movement here and here. That's kind of where we're at right now. So we're at the top from the initial breakout, which the initial breakout was around like 417. And this is the top area. There is no signs of reversal though. I don't see any reversal candlesticks on the weekly. I don't see anything indicating that we want to reverse on the monthly. No indications at all. So like, I want to see how this weekly candle hashes out. If we take it here to the resistance level of like, I think it was like 460 was like the top here, then that's just where we are. You know what I mean? We could reject it and come consolidating down before we break out again. Who knows how the market wants to go? The only thing I know at this point is we're at the top. At some point, we're going to have to pull back. And when the pullback comes, there are pullbacks, you know, you can get a pullback like this, where it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks over here before we ran up again, or you can get this pullback was just insane. This was last year, you know, when we had that pullback for almost 2 years. But, you know, in a healthy trend, you'll have like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of a pullback. Then they came, who knows how far they're going to pull back. The only thing we need to do is just follow our levels. Okay. So if we come here, we know the first level of support was that initial breakout at 443 when if it gets to 460, and then we can come down, you know, from there. But other than that, we'll just follow wherever the market takes us. But right now, there is no signs. There's no signs of reversal. We just have to kind of keep letting it do what it's going to do and just anticipate a pullback if it comes to us, or when it comes to us, rather, not if. I don't know. Does anybody have anything they want to put in? Any input? No?
Not on my end, I think.
You said what?
Nope, not on my end. All-time lows for SQQQ.
Yeah, I know. And you know, I changed these levels. I think, was it yesterday or the day before, I had to bring them down, and like it's even below that level. And that's the thing with SQQQ, like we're so freaking oversold right now. So oversold. Yeah, the daily too. This is insane, like how far they're going too. This was a time when SQQQ was nice to trade around here. All right, let's look at Apple. Apple, man, guys, this is crazy. If Apple breaks this level here, this is 193. This is the previous high here. So if Apple breaks this level, they're gone. They're gonna probably do some type of Microsoft move. I don't know. But you see here, this was the last high right here, 194. It rejected it. I don't know if they want to reject it. They're either going to reject it or not. And these are still our levels here. So these are not changing. But if they break above this level, it could indicate a massive move up. Okay, if they don't reject it. If they reject it, then you know, then of course you're looking at coming back down to the next support here, which is about around this area. But if Apple, I don't know, I guess it depends on what our day looks like today, or if they're going to consolidate at this zone here, if they're going to break above. But if Apple breaks above this previous high, they're gone. That's a breakout. And you can even see it on the monthly. And now this here, they created a doji yesterday. Well, kind of like a doji at resistance. So again, these dojis can represent a continuation for a breakout, or it'll freaking represent a rejection and just come back down to the next level of support. But at this time, they're at the previous high. Previous high was rejected. So 1, 2, 3 rejections. One rejection. The next day they rejected, came all the way back down, up, rejected here. So you can see how they're kind of sitting on it. So yeah, watch out for Apple too. And this is the new high just all together. Where they're at right now, it's new high altogether, because the high for Apple is 194.48. We're sitting right here on top of this area right here on the daily. Right there. Let's see where we're at right now. That was 193. Yeah, they're trying to, this is 194.3, 194.48. That was the last 194.48. So they just hit 194.3 pre-market, which is a little bit under that, but they're trying to hold it. They're trying to hold it. Look at this. Coming back on it. Yep. Yeah, if they break out of this level here, if they burst above this level and it doesn't reject, that's a sign of a massive move up, just like with Microsoft, guys. Let me show you guys. So with Microsoft, we had the previous high here, okay? So just say this is the 194, like how we've seen in Apple. We're on the daily. We had the previous high here, right? And then now we're coming back over here. We're trying to break this resistance wall. And then look, the next candle, boom, right? So it kind of reminds me a little bit like Apple, of how, like, because this is new highs. This is new highs here. And this was the previous high here. And then they came back on the wall, came back on it around here before they burst open. Same thing with Apple. I mean, Apple, same thing. Here, they burst open, breakout. But Apple's even higher, though. They're at this 194, which is this is the area that it's like trying to fight to push through. I mean, you can see it a little more clearer here. This is the wall there, and they're on it. They're literally on top of it. And anytime you're on top of the ceiling, it's an indication that you want to break through. And anytime you're breaking through new highs, it's going to be new high, new high, new high, new high, new high, and it bursts open. Like I've seen, this is how breakouts work. So if we break out above this 194 and we don't reject it right here, it could be a burst that comes up. What is another market? Let's look at Tesla. This was my resistance for Tesla too. This here is a marker I put for a possible resistance area. And you could see here, this is the area where it tried to reject previously as resistance, and then it broke through. This was a breakout candle, came down, broke through, then it held it as support, 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 support here. Then it fell through, resistance, resistance, resistance. We're back on it again. So this again, we're at the top for Tesla too. And this was the previous breakout. This was the previous breakout of Tesla. This is the massive move that happened. And now we're at another resistance point. So. $293. We had a high of 298. When you see these little pin bars, pre-market, it's a sign that there's more movement ahead. And you can even see right now we're at 295.4, which is about here. So 293, about right here. So you see that we're trying to open up higher. Isn't the ATR like $8 on Tesla? We'll take it there though, because it tipped here, it tipped here. So 289 and 295. And then so here 89, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about $6.
Tesla's $9.96 now, almost $10.
It's almost $10. So it's about, we'll say about 301, 302. All right. So we got these levels here, because I'm just going from here to here. But either way, Tesla's gone. Like this, they closed at 290, 294. They're up here. So I would just be paying attention to where they open. Again, guys, I don't know if we're going to like burst through. We're very strong right now. Like I'm seeing so much strength in the market. Like I'm seeing strength, just price action strength, but I'm also seeing overbought everywhere. Overbought everywhere. And like on your daily, you know, kind of coming into your weekly, but more like your daily, your 4 hour. And then also I'm seeing us at resistance levels on the higher time frames. So even though I see a lot of bullish momentum and I see a lot of strength and I see a lot of volume and price action is telling me like we're just gone, I know in the back of my head that we're at the top on these higher time frames. So now it's just a matter of letting this month play out and letting these next few weeks play out to see how these candles look and if they're going to still look the same. Are they still going to have all of this momentum, or are we going to start creating dojis and like, you know, candles that's going to show us that there's reversal, you know, coming in play?
What I noticed is that so SPY is not creating all-time highs yet.
Like here, yeah.
But SQ is creating all-time lows. So the NASDAQ has all-time highs, but not SPY. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense because they're creating, and like you're talking about, like, and also a lot of technology stocks too.
Yeah,
like
they got
MSFT. Yep.
yeah, they're all-time highs in the NASDAQ. So there's nothing to compare right now. Like, I mean, the NASDAQ is in a complete breakout in uncharted territory. but SPY high was 479, right? So SPY hasn't created the all-time highs yet. It's going, it's like it's running towards it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at too. Are we going to break these areas here and create all-time highs? And that's why I was looking at QQQ yesterday. So this is your area. This is the area here. Okay, this was your area right here, right here. Okay, and then kind of like over here a little bit, but here, before you get to your next area of all-time highs. We have to break above these areas here. This is the consolidation below the all-time highs. So are we going to reject here? Or are we going to push past it? You know what I mean? That's the question. But with, like you said, with SQQQ at its all-time lows, how far is SQQQ? They got to go down very low, even way more, in order for SPY to come up to hit all-time highs. I mean, we got to see them at like freaking like 10 or something or below.
13.
Say what?
13, 12, 13.
So I don't know. They're at like what, 16 right now. So, you know, that's the thing. Are we going to push past this area here? Are we going to push past it? Because the last time we got here, we rejected it, right? Doesn't necessarily mean we got to reject all the way back down to like 350, but you know, rejecting a little bit to create a higher low is healthy. Because if you do just run past this, I mean, like the last time we did some crazy mess like that, where we kept running and running, like our fall was just as big as our run. Like, I mean, not as big because we came back around here, but if you felt it in the last couple years, right? We felt this downfall. So like, how far are we going to go up? And this is a short period, like running from here to here. This is a very short period of running. So if we keep running and we create this little, this run right here, and it happens so fast. The thing about trends is when they happen very fast, they happen like the fall happens very fast too, and hard. So that's why I like to see health. Like if we can pull back here, this is more healthy. This is more healthy because then it'll allow all of these time frames that are becoming exhausted to create patterns so that we can keep running. Because like I don't want to be overbought like this for some time, because when you stay overbought for some time and you run to the highest peak, it's like when you're going running, right? And you just run your 5 to 10K, but you got to do it like straight up. Like after you're finished with your 5K or whatever it is that you're doing, you're so exhausted, you got to break from it, right? So if you can like pace yourself, I guess, I don't know, if you're running and you can kind of like run and pace yourself, it's not going to feel so exhausting after. That's kind of like that feeling of like pacing yourself out, like getting your nice little run, getting your little pullback, retesting. Now you're running again, you're consolidating, and then you're ready to break out. So it's more healthier that way versus just the freaking run up and no freaking breaks and just going and going and going. Because to me, now that's a sign that when the fall comes, it's going to be fast and hard, right?
But look at the it's so funny that fall before the little dip before the 479, right?
In this area?
No, to the left.
Here?
Right. The dip right there before the 479. Go to the left, go to the left, go to the left, go to the left, go to the right, that dip right there.
Oh, right here.
That's
53.
Right, that's 2020. That's May 2020, COVID, right? The pandemic. That's what broke that run.
Hold on, this is not the pandemic.
Sure.
Let me see. Yeah, because the pandemic is, I'll show you where the pandemic is. I don't know. The pandemic was here.
That's it. The same thing I showed you.
Oh, this was here? It was here? Yeah. Are you sure?
Yep.
This was.
That's it.
322. Okay, let me look at it again. Hold on.
Right there.
452. No,
That's not it.
it's in the fours. Remember, the pandemic was because it was around here.
It was there. Okay. But go back to the yeah, you're right. Go back to the other. Go back to the other view.
The other view, the monthly view?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where was the pandemic, right?
Yeah, see, this is what scared everybody because of the sharpness. So remember with the pandemic, it was a sharp fall. It was like 2 months, right? So this is 1 month and 2 months. So in 2 months, we went from, so this was where the pandemic started, right? So we started here, we'll say at the close, like 325, and it touched all the way down to 219. This was the scare here. So 325 to 219, this was $100 in almost 2 months. That's what made the pandemic, like, that's what made it like scary, is because of how fast it was falling in like a short period. But it was only 2 months. And then once it fell, and if you were following China at that time, if you were following like the markets in China, everything that was happening in China, like literally we weren't falling yet. Okay, so China's falling like around here. We haven't fell yet, but we literally mimicked China. So China fell, they had like a sharp fall, and then it was a very short period, and then they started running up. And if you were paying attention to the Asian markets around that time, you could see how we kind of like followed them. And that's kind of how I was able to like look and see what we could possibly do based on the Asian markets. But that's what really made the COVID fall so bad, is because of how sharp it was. But you can see that when it came down, right? And then we started rising, look how fast we rose.
And look how long we rose, right? That's what
Exactly. So this fall, this pullback was needed to happen because this run was like so consistent, and it was kind of like, you could see they were exhausted once they got to the top here. And then this is a healthy pullback. So you see this is the pullback, but you can see the previous run was around here, right? This was a high, they pulled back, and then this was the next pullback, which was higher than over here, which was when they took off down here, right? So this is a healthy pullback. So that's why I said if we can like create something, even this would be nice. Like, okay, so this is the if we say we can pull back right here, we can come back and retest this level here, which was your 417-ish area down here. I mean, that's a very, like, even if you say you want to create a double bottom, that's still a very nice little pullback.
But you see it, the exact scenario, if you go all the way back to the right, to the left of your chart, right?
Look at this. This is a bullish flag. Like, we need this pullback. We need to come back down and retest because we need to create these patterns.
But there's, look at the left, go all the way to the left of your chart, far left, as far as you could.
Over here?
Now look at that run.
Right here?
No, go back to the left. You were there.
Right here?
Go back all the way to the left.
Right here.
Okay, look at that run all the way up from there,
Here.
right? All the way up, and then you see the W that you just drew up there. You see it right there as well.
Oh yeah. Right here.
Yep.
Pull back here.
Correct.
But this one was just sharp. But either way, you got the double bottom that you could create. So you got this pullback, and this is a healthy pullback. Why? Because it's the last time we had a pullback was around COVID. This was in like, I remember this. This was during tax time when Donald Trump and China was going crazy at war with taxes and how much taxes that the US needed. Remember, guys, I don't know if you guys remember the catalyst with that, but that's what happened during this pullback. This was COVID here. So, but even like when this happened, when this pullback came, we came all the way back down to 360. Like I said, it's healthy because this was the high, this was the pullback. So you could see it's lower than here. So coming down and pulling back around here somewhere, like we need it. Look, you got the double bottom that could go, or you got the bullish flag. So pulling back still keeps us in an uptrend. It just makes it healthy. It just makes it healthy so that we can just keep going. Because even if we pull back, we would still stay above 50. We would still stay above 50 here. So stay here, pull back. There's your little pullback right there. And then you come up. And then you can come into overbought. Now, if you come into overbought, now you're coming into new highs. Now you can take in new highs here. But before we take in new highs, like I would like to see a pullback. I really don't want to see us push past this and run into new highs because what that's going to tell me is that we're going to have a really hard pullback when we do pullback, and it's going to be fast and people are going to feel it. And what is that going to do? It's going to bring that psychological stuff where people have retirement portfolios and now they're scared because we have another black swan event. I don't know, but that's what I would like to see. Of course, we can't determine what's going to happen, but that would be nice. That's why I'm hoping that we have this pullback in this area. But to be honest, I'm not like predicting it. I'm just knowing that it's very probable. It would be very healthy. And, you know, I don't know. But if we keep rejecting this level up here, like here, 1, 2, 3 rejections before the fall. If we keep rejecting it, it's just going to be one of those where you break up to the upside or you break down to the downside, right? But your weekly would give you signs. As long as you're paying attention to the moves every day, you can see, because we knew here, this is where the rejection happened. We knew here when this doji was created, like if we were, let me see, like you could see it previous. That's what I'm saying. You'll be able to see what's happening. Like, what in the world? Okay. You'll be able to see it, is what I mean, when it does happen. As long as we're paying attention to it, as long as we're breaking it down, we're going to be able to see it. Trust me. Like here. Let's get all this stuff out. I keep going back to this doji here, but this is the same area. When this doji was created, you could see the candle open up below, then below, below. Once it got below these levels here, you knew that it was rejecting. You knew that it was rejecting because it was trying to hold these areas before. And then here came back on it, rejected 1 week. Even at the second week, you knew, okay, we're going down. Then the next week, then the next week. So all of these are weeks of pullbacks. So you're seeing the pullback here. And then, so you'll see it here, but we need something created here, a doji. Like, just say a doji is created here, somewhere in this area, all right? And then, are we going to open up the next week above it, or are we going to stay below this area and create something like this? So we just got to watch, guys. That's all. That's all. All right, Ruth, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm there, Des.
Oh. I don't know. You got any questions? You got any, like, what's your advice? I don't know. You got anything you want to share?
Yeah, I wanted to look at United Health.
United Health. What's the ticker?
UNH.
Ooh, we're at support.
That thing was a runner.
Yeah, because we're at support here. Look at this. That's your flag. Okay, and you can see how it's held this area here for a long time. You see, this is 476 area. Yeah, it's running up.
Where was it? It was at this morning. It was at 500, but then a while ago it was at 505. So it looks like it still has a lot of strength.
Yeah, it's coming up on this resistance. So that's your next resistance.
What number is that? I can't see it.
After that, hold on, I'll tell you in just a second. Here's your next level here coming up. All right, so this is 501. All right, hold on. Can't see either. 503.8. And then your next one, if we break above this, we're looking at about 528.9. But you're still in this bullish flag here. You're still in this bullish flag. So let's look at the weekly. Okay, so you can even see that I drew this on the higher time frames, and you can see it's holding the 200 MA. So the 200 MA is just 200-day moving average. We know that. And you can see here how this has been maintaining support down here in this area. We got back down here and we're just running up. So if we break, and we got a lot of strength with UNH.
Yeah, I was looking, I think it will go to 526 or 525 or something like that.
Yeah, you got your next one here around like 525. Yeah, we're above we closed above the 200 MA and we're pointing up. So yeah, there's a lot of strength right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
But be careful because you do have your stuff is becoming overbought, but we're very strong.
Yeah.
The bull
That's what I
here.
thought. A
Yeah.
quick lotto.
Bullish flag. I don't know, because we're real overbought. You probably should took the lotto down, but I don't know because we're very overbought, but we're very strong. But
Yeah, and that's the thing.
they
Yeah.
gotta pull back to keep going. But generally, the pullbacks are very temporary. Here the last time we got up here to 520. Look at this run, because I don't know. You can see what the last run was. The last run we
Yes.
down here, we just ran it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
and then
Yes.
back to the next resistance. And when it got to the resistance, it just went boom.
Yeah, because it was tired. Yes.
So yeah, so that's it. So I mean, I don't know, guys. I really don't.
And that run is looking similar to the one before, to that one.
Yeah. You're trying to find your lotto trade. Yeah.
Sure. You know why? That's the stock I told you I was gonna buy for $53.
Yeah.
And it went up to 440.
So the thing is, what I experience with, I'll tell you this when it comes to lotto trades, because I don't teach this and I won't ever put it in my curriculum, but I know I know what you want and I know how to look for what you're looking for. So what you want to do is, if you want to do lotto trades, Ruthann, you got to start looking for stocks that are going to burst at open. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to look at conditions. Okay. So when you're looking at your pre-market stuff and you're looking at different stocks, one, you want to look for good catalysts, like you said, earnings or anything. Then you want to look for potential stocks that have good spreads, but are very a potential to burst at open, which means that they're at resistance levels, but they look like, their patterns are forming to where it's very bullish. So at open, they're going to most likely go. Now, it's kind of hard to find those because you got to go through stacks, right? It's you got to go through a lot of charts to find that. But that's the best way based on what you're trying to do. Because if you want to try to take out of the lotto trades, out of the money's, contracts and bring them in the money, you really need big bursts. But you got to really do your homework on trying to find those specific stocks, not only that has a good spread, but also that's
ATRs too. Those stocks normally have good ATRs.
Yep. So it is a strategy that a lot of people play, but it takes a lot of homework, to do that, especially when you're starting with when you want to trade with a little bit of amount.
Yeah.
I would say that you do. What I would recommend is just whatever you're putting for trading now or whatever you want, just put it to the side so that when you're really ready to take a position. So say, for instance, you want to do when we reverse and we say, okay, look, we're ready to go in now. We're ready to go ahead and take some puts at the top and we want to hold it for some time. You don't have to take 8 months. Maybe you take 5 or 6 months, right? You go 5 or 6 months. You make sure that the option chain looks good. You say, I don't want SPY because SPY is too expensive. Let me go with QQQ, right? Let me go with, something that moves with SPY, but that's cheaper, right? So you go 5, 6 months out. You may only spend $600 on a contract with 5 or 6 months out, but you're at the top. So if you're getting the move down, that you will go from your top of your resistance down to you just got to be patient. You know what I mean? That's the best way to do it, instead of trying to take small $100 contracts and bring in the money, because that's a lot more riskier. Because the chances you getting a big move and you getting a burst to take your out of the money in the money is going to be a lot lower than if you just wait.
And I wasn't thinking of that for all the time, Des. I'm just saying, when the opportunity is there, not really as a strategy, just when the opportunity presents itself, like you say, there's a catalyst or something is happening, like earnings or so you want to take advantage of. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I understand that. And I think that if that's something that you want to do every once in a while, try to really gear towards earnings. Okay. So during earnings seasons, which company has earnings guidance, right? If you can find a company that you can find earnings guidance on, that's a pusher, right? Up.
Mhm.
So you can always bring it to us and then we can look at it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It could be a potential if that's something you want to do. But what I know from experience is those are really hard. That's hard to catch. Even though we see breakouts all the time, how many times
Mhm.
do you catch the breakout? You know?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But people do it. I know it's doable, Ruben. I know that you can do it. You can take it out of the money and bring it into the money. It's just it's a lot of homework you have to do, or it's rare, or that you'll get the breakout. But yeah.
Mhm.
So, but anyway, but coming here, but this is a good one, UNH actually, because I see that they have, like you said, they have potential to take it to the next resistance level. And the last time they bursted right through. You could see that. See here? This
Yeah.
one bursted through this level, and then they just took it all the way up before they rejected down. So this is your next resistance here. Yeah.
Great.
I got it from a monthly. This isn't a bull flag. This is nice. This is an
Mhm.
insurance company, isn't it? Yeah.
The what?
This is insurance. United Health Group is insurance, right?
I think I'm not too sure now.
Yep, you can even see it here on the weekly. We're still above here. Yeah, this looks really nice. This looks really nice. So yep, taking it here. Once they burst out of this flag, this is your new high.
Yeah.
If they hold it and burst out. Anyway, but that's pretty much all I got for you guys this morning. It's not really too much, it's the same thing as
No.
yesterday. We just got to trade it between the zones. We got to be more observant. We know we're at the top, but we're strong. And yeah, we just got to see how this candle plays out, Friday, and then we got, the rest of this month. But by the end of this month and these next couple of weeks, we'll see what these candles look like on the S&P. And that'll kind of help us. And, NASDAQ, they may be like exhausted once S&P is ready to turn. So they could be in alignment too, where NASDAQ's breaking out, but they're ready to like come back down because they're exhausted from all these breakouts. And S&P is like, all right, we're at resistance. We're ready to turn, but we just got to keep watching them and pay attention to them and see what they want to do. All right, guys.
Yay.
I'll see you
Thanks,
guys.
Steph.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
All right. Bye.